Hello out there. Today let's talk about using words, pictures, and numbers to report the results of your study. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It originally came from advertising, where images help people understand a message quickly, just at a glance. And that idea applies just as much to scientific writing. In science, we report findings using figures and tables. They show the data. The text has a different job. The text tells readers what to look for, it interprets the results, and it explains what those results mean. Together, the text, tables, and figures form a story that guides the reader through your findings. And here's a simple approach to putting it all together. The results section of your paper is where figures and tables matter the most. And a good place to start is with your findings. Before you create a single table or figure, start by listing your key findings. Write them down. What did you actually discover? This step keeps your visuals focused and prevents you from adding figures that don't have a clear purpose. And when you're designing figures and tables, choose the right format. Use tables when you need to report and compare numbers. For example, baseline characteristics or test results across study groups. Tables work the best when readers need to look at specific values and compare rows and columns of numbers. Use figures where patterns matter, when seeing the difference is more important than reading the values that produce the figure. Examples include survival curves or dose-response relationships, line graphs, scatter plots, and pie charts. They all summarize findings clearly when used the right way, I guess. And don't overlook flow diagrams. They're ideal for showing how participants were selected and followed, or the sequence of steps in a study. So, writing the results section. Well, when you write the results section, introduce each table and each figure in the text. At that point, tell the reader what results they show before directing them, the reader, to the figure or table, and then let the figure or table hold the data set. Briefly mention the method used, but you don't need to repeat how or why that method was chosen to produce the results. That information already lives in the method section. In the text, focus on what matters most. Highlight key differences, whether they're significant or not. Include p-values, but do not repeat other data already shown in the visual. And then explain what the evidence means. Number your tables and figures in the order they first appear in the text. When you do this, the reader will always know where they are and why each visual exists. Avoid common language traps. A quick but important reminder about wording. Be careful with words like markedly, strikingly, dramatically, obviously, or clearly. They sound persuasive. They describe differences, but they say nothing about statistics. If a difference has a p-value of less than 0.05, call it what it is. It's significant. If it's not significant, the descriptive words listed previously should be reserved for differences that do not reach significance. Titles and legends. Well, they do a lot of work. Titles and legends are like newspaper headlines. They tell readers what's being shown, direct attention to the most important findings, and help the figure or table stand on its own, independent of your text. Legends should mention the method used, but they shouldn't repeat details already explained in the method section, as I said before. So are figures and tables worth 1,000 words? Oh, you'll find out when you try to write a clear, concise legend or table title. Now, the final checklist before submission, ask yourself, is every figure or table mentioned in the text? Does the text state the finding before pointing to the data? Can the figure or table stand alone with its caption or legend? Have I removed unnecessary repetition of data from the text? And finally, always check the author instructions for your target journal. Many limit the number of figures and tables, and most have specific formatting requirements. So when text, tables, and figures work together, your results become clearer, more persuasive, and easier for the reader to understand. And that's when a picture really is 1,000 words, worth 1,000 words. Well, there's my take on it, and consider it. And come back next time when you want to talk a bit more. See you later.